This is something I normally don't talk about, but it's time I say something. I've seen too much of this all over social media, and it's gotten to the point where I feel like now I need to say something. Otherwise, it's just gonna keep escalating, and I really cannot take it anymore. Um, I saw an article, I think a while back, on how Disney was trying to make the lead actor for a real life Mulan movie a white man, and that annoyed me just a little bit. And then today, I was outside shoveling snow with my dad, and some person across the street decided to yell, "Oh, a little Asian girl can actually help her parents shovel the snow? I thought she'd be inside the house cooking food with her mother." And that's when it got to me. Because how dare you say, like, I couldn't tell who the person was because they decided to wear a hood, and smart, because if they weren't and I found out who they were, they most likely would have been rashed out or beaten up or something of that sort. But how dare anyone in general have the nerve to think that just because I'm Asian, just because I'm short, and just because I'm a woman, that I should be in the house helping my mom cook food, do laundry, and all this stuff, and not be outside doing other housework. Like, I'm helping my father, who's half blind, shovel snow because the man is weak and needs some support. Also, I'm doing this on behalf of my brother because he's already requested before I left that I help my dad, and that's what I'm doing. So how dare you say that, how dare you find it shocking to see a little Asian girl like me out shoveling snow? It's just not right. Asian representation now needs to step up. Like, Black Lives Matter, don't get me wrong, I support all lives, okay? But I feel like there's just something going on with Asian people that it's not being brought up. Like, we're supporting Black Lives Matter too, and all these causes for like minority races, but where's the Asian hashtag at? Like, in Hollywood and the acting world, I know this because of a dear friend. I call him a dear friend, but yeah, it just feels like we're friends. Like, he's even talked about how representation is so little, and like he even has, like, people have walked up to his manager when he was there and is like, oh, like, talking about him, like he's been discriminated against just because he was half Asian. And it gets me mad when people want to hypersexualize Asian women, like, because of that, because of certain movies that Hollywood has released. I was almost a target for rape. I was a target for sexual assault. It almost happened to me, and I'm telling you this right now. I am so happy I know how to defend myself, because otherwise that would have been a horrible situation. To think that I was almost taken away, and that gets me so scared and so angry. Like, how dare you portray women in that way? It's either we're portrayed as we're either hypersexualized sex toys, or we're submissive to powerful men. There's no in between. They don't show women standing up for themselves. They don't show women defending themselves. So that's why when they see me, like a young Asian girl like me, doing martial arts, they think, oh wow, I wouldn't expect you to be doing this. Well, and I'm like, what would you expect me to be doing? Like, being at home, cooking food, and doing your homework. I do my homework, because I'm supposed to. But I need to learn to defend myself against these things. And it's time for representation to start happening for all races, all minority races. It's time for us to get together. It's time for us to stand up against all of this discrimination. Like, I've been discriminated against because I was short. Someone had the nerve, like in middle school even, I was taking the deep end test, and like at my old school I was taking a deep end test, and someone had the nerve, like 2 spots behind me, like 2 people were having a conversation saying, if she passes the deep end test, I'll be shocked. Why would you be shocked? Would you think I just drown in the pool? Like, I know how to swim, that's why I'm taking the test. if I didn't know how to swim and I learned to take and I took the test, I could have died. Like, what? And I mean, even then, like, even Asian men, like, they're desexualized, and hello, I've met a good amount of attractive Asian men who are muscular, who have abs, William, and they're also genuinely caring and nice. Not all men are overpowering women. They have respect. And for you to think that men are just going to overpower women like that is absolutely wrong. For you to say that Asian men cannot be singing and cannot be doing music and doing what they love to do in general, how dare you? Actually, what makes you think that we can't do what we want to do? Everyone is born differently, so for you to think that we're only supposed to have these, like, we're only allowed to do this certain thing and be this certain way, I'm sorry? And then for Asian women to be stereotyped, there's so many I can go through, but for Asian women to be stereotyped as bad drivers, my sister can drive, and she drives perfectly fine. She has her license and everything. And for you to think that Asian women in general cannot drive well, shut your mouth. Literally shut your mouth. It's absolutely wrong, and I'm sick and tired of this. They expect young girls like me to be able to sing, to be able to be flexible, to be able to play the piano, to be able to sing, to be able to help mom around the house, to stay submissive, to not fight back. Don't go putting stereotypes on us because we're not gonna follow all of them. Yes, I play piano. Yes, I sing. Yes, I dance. Yes, I help my mom around the house. Yes, I can cook food. Yes, I wash the dishes. Yes, I can do laundry. But I do it under the responsibility of my mother, and I do it because I'm willing to. I don't just do it because it's a stereotype. I do it because I'm supposed to do it. I do it because it's my responsibility. I do it because I'm learning to grow up and to be independent later on. I don't learn to cook just so I can have a boyfriend. I learn to cook so I can take care of myself and my family, if I have a husband with me or not. If you ever think that just because I'm a girl or a young woman, or just because I'm Asian and because I'm a teen, for you to think that I'm not going to fight back because my mom has told me because you think my mom has taught me to stay submissive, you're absolutely wrong. There will be times I will stay quiet and there will be times I will be submissive, but not all the time. When something gets too far out of hand, I will actually start speaking up. Like now. It's time for representation to happen for all minority races. It's time for Asian representation to actually start happening. People always blast little mixed Asian babies because they're so cute, they're so loving, blah, blah, blah. Then how dare you desexualize a man who actually helped create the child? And how dare you hypersexualize the woman who actually had to bear the child? It's absolutely wrong. And for you to think, oh, we're just stating opinions, blah, blah, blah. Cut the crap! Your opinion is also the hate. Always stereotyping how Asian women are supposed to look. If you see a woman who's over 5'2", you're automatically freaking out. You see a young girl like me who's only 4'10", you think that's normal. So seeing a tall Asian woman must not be normal for you, huh? Meet my sister who's 5'8". Meet my brother who's 6 foot. I may be short, but I will not back down and stay weak against a certain issue like this. I've been stereotyped as so many things, so many times. People have thought, oh, no one, oh, you have such chinky eyes, can you even see? Of course I see. I have glasses. My parents didn't waste money on my eye insurance just so I can't have glasses. My parents do so much for me. And then you want to stereotype all Asians? Anytime a person who's not Asian in general walks past me, they disrespectfully want to think that I'm automatically Chinese. How dare you say and assume that just because I'm Asian, I'm automatically Chinese? Yes, I may speak some Chinese because I'm learning from my Chinese friends. I'm not saying that Chinese people are bad. Obviously, they're not. Some are, but not all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you can't just assume everyone that's Asian is Chinese. Because Koreans wouldn't exist if you thought everyone was Chinese. There are Vietnamese people. There's Chinese people. There's Shanghainese people who fall under the Chinese category. There's Korean people, Japanese people. Eurasians? European and Asian people? I personally know a few. I know some Blasian friends. There's so many different varieties of Asian people that you can't put a stereotype on us. That goes for any minority group. You can't put stereotypes on anybody. It's absolutely wrong and you know it. So how dare you have the nerve to think that to have these stereotypes for Asian people? In Hollywood, get it together. If a movie is meant to have a full Asian cast, then make it fully Asian. Don't you dare turn a lead man to become a white person. And then having the wife become submissive to him. Absolutely not. I'm not gonna stand for that. I'm an aspiring singer, dancer, actor, and entertainer in general. I even aspire to be a model, and I'm 4'10". How dare you have the nerve to try to have us submit to some white guy? No, that's not going to happen. The movie is about a girl defending her country and saving the lives of people in her country. It's not about her submitting to some white man like a man of some superior race. No. That's all I've got to say for now. I'll be back soon.